Get it on the roll. Can I have a roll call, please?
Rosales, Tinsley, Anderson, here. Cruz, Harper, here. Rector, here. Hartke.
Here. Quorum is present. Can I have a motion on the agenda, please? So moved. Mr. Rector, a second? Seconded by Mr. Anderson. Any changes or questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have an agenda. Can I have a motion on the minutes of November 7th, 2017, our last meeting? Moved by Anderson, second by Harper. Any questions or changes? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have our minutes approved. We'll open to public participation. No one gave me any slips. We'll go ahead and move ahead to communications. Any member communications? I just want to make the note that Mr. Rosales did call and say that he is traveling and cannot attend tonight. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's move ahead to items for facility committee approval. Can I have a motion on the satellite jail domestic hot water delivery project? So moved. Second. Moved by Harper, seconded by Rector. Open to discussion. Dana?
Okay, what you have before you is the satellite jail domestic hot water bid document that we talked about at the last meeting. This is to replace the hot water system to create a loop, which we currently do not have at the satellite jail. Part of the problem that we've experienced over there since it was constructed in '96 is that there's extremely long runs for hot water service in the building, and there's no loop, so you can keep that water constantly moving around and have a delivery to the specific point where it's being called for in a much quicker time. We'll put in additional circulation loop, circulation pumps, and replace the hot water heaters that are 20 plus years old in the building. So that's what this project does. It was estimated to cost somewhere in magnitude of $300,000. This was the only facility project we had brought before this committee at this time to wait and see what the bid price was, is why we're getting this out early, but also to once approved, we will, for bid, we will prepare the documentation to send to Ameren to get on their notice to be eligible for return of funds that they have available to help us out with this project. So any questions about the bid doc?
Anyone? Jack?
Question, Dan. Do you know roughly what our savings would be on water? Obviously, if they're receiving it right away, then they're not waiting for it to count.
Correct. We should see some savings. They will no longer, the inmates may continue to jam things into their sinks and so forth to keep water coming, but the staff certainly will not keep water on that they're currently having to do to get hot water on demand. So we'll see a small reduction. We'll see a reduction in more efficient hot water heaters. So I think we'll use less gas. But overall, I don't think it's going to be that big of savings. It's certainly not going to give you a return on your investment. I think I shared with the committee back in November that this building has their highest usage for water of any of the county's buildings. We pay somewhere in the magnitude of $65,000 to $70,000 for water usage in the building. This hopefully will have some savings on water and gas. So, but in terms of the overall project, you're not going to see a payback in 3, 4, 5 years from savings. But this is really a quality of life project, as well as a utility savings for some gas.
Well, I would think the purpose of the building would require the demand for water, because it is a 24-hour facility and used not just during business hours.
Yeah,
as many of them are.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on with the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that'll move forward on consent. We'll move ahead to number 8, items to be recommended to the county board. The first is the GIS lease agreement. Can I have a motion on that, please? Moved by Mr. Rector, seconded by Mr. Anderson. Dana.
Okay, GIS lease was actually brought, excuse me, to you before in November, and county board actually approved it in November. This was originally a 2-year lease. GIS board met after county board approved the lease, and they had some issues with it in regard to number of years. They wanted it extended to a 5-year lease, as well as the city of Champaign had some issues with the insurance provisions in it. We were able to work out with Barb Mann's assistance the insurance provisions and made some changes there, extended the lease to 5 years, and increased the annual lease pay system that you see in the lease. So it's fairly straightforward. Yes, the lease does start in 2017. They've been sent a bill. They're paying for their 2017 lease. There's a 5% increase per year. Felt like that was fairly fair based upon CPIs. The last 2 years been around 2%. They felt comfortable. I felt comfortable in suggesting that. So it does move the price point for the lease. It's not where we need it to be yet, but it's a little unfair to tax them, I think, with a major increase of dollar value to get it up to $10 to $12. They do pay for utilities. They also pay for custodial support.
Any questions? Okay. All those in favor of approving this, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. That'll move forward. Next item is the Attorney General's Office lease. Can I have a motion on that, please? Moved by Mr. Anderson. A second? Seconded by Mr. Harper. Dana.
Okay. The Attorney General lease is actually up in 2018. Received a call about a month ago from their office. With the election this year in November and the lease being up the 30th of the month, they did not want to have that lease lost in potential changeover in their office with leadership. So they asked for an extension or an amendment to the lease of 1 year. We countered with trying to go 13 months instead of being on an off business cycle for the county of November 30th as a deadline, take it to December 31st. So this really is a 13-month extension. We went at 5% increase for them. They're already we went at CPI increase for this additional year. They're already at the upper echelon of rent, I think, in Champaign. They've got approximately 2,500 square feet, and they're paying $1,560 approximately, without looking at it, per square foot. That's a premium price in this community. It's very good space. It's been updated, and they're very comfortable there. But this lease provides them with the security that they've asked for, and provides us with nice income till 2019 is over.
Any questions on this lease? Jack?
Why don't we have what we're leasing on the actual lease? Maybe I'm missing it, but I didn't see it when I was reading it at home. Maybe just some reference to an address or something.
What you're seeing is the addendum, and if you look at the which I did not put on there, but it's been seen before, certainly on the county's website, but in the original document contract, all that information is there.
I agree. When I look at the document alone, it doesn't say what we're leasing. I know that if you attach it to the original document, it becomes an addendum to it. But on its own,
point well taken. I will. In the future, if we have an amendment, I'll attach that so that you can see what it is.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that will move forward on consent as well. All right, let's open up for the Facilities Director's Report. Dana, this is yours.
2 items. The first item is good news. There's a check from Ameren for $3,500 and some change. This was for what we qualified for with our boilers, with our air handlers here at Brookins that were installed this past fall. I wish it was a little bit more, but we're happy to have the $3,500. It's been deposited and being put back in our capital fund. Any questions about the $3,500? It cashed, according to the new treasurer. Yeah, I'd like to. The next item I'll just jump into. At the last meeting, we had a conversation about ADA requirements by DOJ at the downtown jail. And at the request of the committee, we were asked to go back and talk with Dana Jackson, Mr. Jackson, which Tammy Ogden did. Her memo to Mr. Jackson, which documents their conversation, is there, as well as a memo to several of the staff from Tammy. In a nutshell, basically, we've been given permission to hold off any decision getting back to DOJ until July. And basically, what we shared with them is that with a number of the issues relevant to the nursing home that's taken center stage for the county board, we really need to make and look at decisions points for that before we get into any discussion relevant to what the future of the downtown jail and sheriff's office is. So we bought some time until July, and hopefully that's enough. If not, we'll go back to them and go from there. But that brings us up to speed.
Thank you. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, go ahead, John.
So we've done this a few times. Do you have a feeling or any sense of, is July a drop dead date that we have to make a decision because we've extended this before?
Well, I think they're very sympathetic to our issues and problems, and we have an excellent track record of following through and completing. I'll call it 95% of all of their initial findings, whether we've worked on it and completed the tasks in-house, or we've outsourced it to contractors. So I think our track record is excellence of recognizing our deficiencies, and we've been very proactive with them and bringing our facilities up to standard.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Dana. That being the end of the director's report, we'll move to the chair's report, which we just have to note that our next meeting will be Tuesday, March 6th, 2018, same time, same place.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
May I suggest you do the designation of items to be placed on the consent agenda before the closed session?
I would love to do that for you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Items for consent will be 8A and B. And with that, I think there'll be a motion for a closed session. Stan, do you have that?
I move that we enter into closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C6 to discuss the setting of a price for sale or lease of the property owned by the public body. I further move that the following individuals remain present: Dana Brenner, Barb Mann, Deb Busey, Van Anderson, Tammy Asplin, and Ashley Pete.
May I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Anderson. Any comments? Roll call vote, please.
Rosales, Tinsley, Anderson, Cruz, Harper,
Yes.
Rector, Hardkey.
Yes, and we will go into closed session.